Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors in Winston, Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Let's take a look at our weather, folks. We're really in a good situation because we hope the rain is behind us. The river's still high. We're looking at the river. The river reading is Apalachicola Blunt Sound is 22. Choctaw Caribbean is at 12, and both of them in that colored zone. You see all those colors there, that means it's high. And speaking of high today, it's only going to be in the 50s, like at 56, and low tonight is going to be at 36 to 37, right in that area right there. Water temperature now jumped up a degree from yesterday, 63.7. Our marine forecast will be northwest at about 12, and it's going to start laying down a little bit. That's when it's going to get cooler. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. 5:23 is the low tide, that winter tide, and the high tide is at 12:30. Then another low tide at 7:30 tonight. So we've got a little bit of a couple of double tides right there here locally. Now looking at the calendar, folks, 3 weeks from today will be March the 20th. And you know what March the 20th is? That's always a very special day to me because it's the first day of spring. So spring will be here in 3 weeks, but I think some of these azaleas and other flowers are getting a head start on it if you look around while you're driving through the countryside. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with our special guest. Well, I tell y'all we were going to have a special guest this morning.
And he couldn't show up, so I came.
So Bill came, so he took my exact words. All right, buddy, what's going on?
Well, it's been a while since we've done a show, and this one's going to be a special one for me because I wanted to show off a little bit. Not anything that I did, but that my youngest son Dalton did on our hunting lease. So I got some pictures to bring you. The first one up here is Steve Davis.
Okay.
He is on our lease. This was killed, I think he said January the 24th. And Steve's a great guy. He's been on that lease for about 5 years. He's really helped Dalton and I out on where to go and things like that. But his family has Davis Exterminators.
Right.
They've been here for a very long time. And so anyway, that's a real nice 8 that he took. And pardon the blood shots, but that's a good look at that rack. I think that's where he found him. So
that's a nice buck.
He had a heck of a day. However, not to throw off on Steve, but this is. Did I lose it again, Jeff?
No, we got it.
This is, pardon my techno wizardry, this is my younger son Dalton, the wildlife biologist, and this is last Wednesday in the morning. I was working out of town, and he picked up this 8-point. That's his first big buck, and he killed his first 2 with archery season this year, and our lease is 2 does and 2 bucks, 8-point or better. Mm-hmm. Dalton, I think, is the only one that tagged out. But these in the morning here, that's that same deer. He's a real good-looking deal, real symmetrical, and that may make 9 points because it's got a little tag on it. But that was. I think at about 160 yards where he took that one. And Winston, if you take note of that rifle right there.
Yes, sir.
That is a custom rifle. It was built by my father back in the 70s.
Let me mention right now, Bill's dad was a premier gunsmith in this area. And everybody went to him. And
a lot of people did.
Yeah, everybody went to him back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Proud. I know he's proud to have that.
Yeah, very, very proud of it. I've killed a lot of deer with it, and that's just another look at him there. So this is a heck of a morning, and then he gets him in to be processed and everything, and of course he's going to have that one mounted.
Yeah.
So he goes back in the afternoon, crawls back up in the stand about 1 o'clock, and this is the 9-point that he takes that afternoon.
He took 2.
He tagged out basically in one day. That's another shot of him. Now, he had to handle this there was nobody up there. And I was in Louisiana, and so, he had to figure out a way to get that big thing up.
Well, he could have called me.
On there. But,
I could have given him instructions on how to do it. He could have called me.
Well, he, and there again is him. Now, that one was at about 70 yards. Came out late in the afternoon. Yeah.
Wow.
And the only difference in that rifle now in the 70s is we put a new scope on it 2 or 3 years ago for him.
Cool.
But yeah, that was a heck of a day. And Dalton was he's hunted very hard. Of course, he's a wildlife biologist and the assistant director at the E.O. Wilson Center. And so he just had to hunt every opportunity that he could, and so he happened to have the day off, and it wasn't particularly good weather or cold, but it was after a front, I guess, and they were really moving. So my total take was an archery season doe.
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
And
so I got hurt there, but I just didn't have time. I did not have time to hunt that much. But
y'all's lease didn't have that much storm damage, did it? Back over that way.
Well, it had some. They had to rebuild 2 or 3 stands.
Okay.
But other than that, there was some tree loss, but it wasn't as bad as some other places.
Well, how did my buddies do? How did Jack and all them do?
They did put Mike. You had that picture on earlier. Killed a real nice buck up there, and Bill DeMuy, retired firefighter, used to play softball against him years ago. He picked up an 8 point. So there were some pretty good bucks killed. I saw some 6s and 5 and things like that, but just didn't have to do it. But Dalton worked pretty hard. He used his sense, pretty well. So he had some doe scent that he was putting out and kind of cultivating. But I'm just real proud of him, and especially, I know my dad would be very proud.
He was with that gun and all, and
that rifle was used.
He got a double header.
Yeah, that was some kind of day. It's going to cost him a fortune because he's going to have them both mounted, looking, towards each other, and do a little plaque in the middle. He picked up his brass, so he's going to have those, engraved. So that's going to be like a hole in one. It's going to be real expensive.
We're proud of you, Dalton. Next time, take your dad with you. So
teach me a few things.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. See, my sidekick, Bill Allen. Bill has always been so dependable. I can't say enough for him. When I'm out of town or something, all I got to do is just text him. He'll take care of it. And Bill, I've always appreciated not just that, but friendship and all for
no
so
problem,
many
man.
years.
I really enjoy it.
I knew him when he was a young man. Y'all don't realize Bill Allen was the only. Let me see, get it. Only high school All-American legitimate that came out of Bay County.
I don't. Well,
he was drafted by all kind of people. But
that
anyway,
and $1 will get you a cup of coffee. So we actually played softball together.
Yep, back in the day.
In the early years.
My career was on the decline. His on the way up. We didn't get any offers for travel ball or anything. That's another story. Look, we got some more pictures, and I've held on these couple of days because we've been so busy with our guests and all, but we're going to take time now. Let's check out this first one. Hey, Mr. Winston, it's Seth Prothrow. Me and Carson Kelly fielding a couple of doe tags on the last day of the season. Thought I'd share it to Panhandle Outdoors. So we got some deer meat. Good job, boys. And then I said, I replied, y'all have had a pretty good year, and this is a buck they got. Yes, sir, no problem. We had an awesome year, best year we've ever had, and that's over there in the West Bay area. Look what I got off the Panama City fishing page. Spanish are hitting in St. Joe Bay.
We had 3 fog days in February, so
it jumped up, didn't it?
There you go.
And this is what happens when you share your spot on Facebook. That's why we don't tell everybody exactly where to go. We give you the general area. Okay.
Funny.
And of course, sea trout opens, that'll be Sunday, March the 1st. It'll be open back up in the Western Panhandle. That's our zone right here. So go catch some all next week. There is one hunter safety course coming up in our area. It's going to be in Calhoun County, March the 14th, and it will be from 8 to 3. And you know how that goes, and that's the only. The rest of them are in different counties. But if you have any cousins or kin folks in other areas, you might want to tell them about them. It'll be coming up soon, and you can check the FWC website. Braden Harris, check. I'm going to show you the buck. This is Michael Harris' son. He was so proud of this. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, and here's why. Big buck down. Braden has been after this deer for 3 years. His horns have stayed the same size since we've had him on camera. I'm very proud of you, son. Pictures don't do him justice. And Michael Harris, thank you for sharing these pictures with us. And here he is. Okay, Ben Steele somehow always gets in these pictures. Ben and there's Josh in the picture with him. Good job, Braden Harris. Proud of you for doing that. So, and also now, gray triggerfish will be opening up in Guff. Okay, Guff and Straight Waters. Gray triggerfish is now open, and I believe that catches us up, Bill, on all our pictures, and we're winding down on the hunting season. And we're getting ready to do some fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The river's high.
You know, if you got a black powder gun, you'd be out there this week, fight this crazy weather. But
yes,
you know, it's just, I always remind everybody not to wait. I mean, it's time to, if you haven't already done it, it's time to do the maintenance on your reels. You know, simple lubing them up if that's all it takes. But when you get to places like Blue Water and stuff like that are going to start filling up with reel repairs that everybody waited till the last minute to do. So, you know, they do the best job they can, but when you just get inundated with that, it's hard to keep up with it. So, you know, now's a good time to go through all your tackle. Now's a good time to go through, your rod reel setups and those kind of things. And then, also, of course, any boat maintenance that you haven't done, trailer as well, because, we're in that same period we get into every year where the weather's just insane right now. But very soon it's going to turn on big time, and everybody's going to want to be on the water, and everybody's going to want to be fishing. So,
hey, see, you mentioned Blue Water, and you made see this right here. Y'all see 10% off. I was down there this past Saturday and ran by and checked on them. Like I said, my truck automatically turns in there when I go by there.
And you can't pass it.
So I was checking on with Bob and Terry and all those guys. And they have a deal at Blue Water. This is a good deal. If you buy a new boat, this is a good deal. If you buy a new boat and just bring it in there, you get 10% off all the boating accessories, your life jackets, your seat, all kind of stuff. Now, it doesn't include electronics, of course, but anything you're going to put on your boat, they got a big boat selection. You get 10% off, and you don't need a coupon. I just want to show it to you from Blue Water. So that's a really good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
If you buy a
new boat, you need a discount on some stuff.
It's easy to knock away $1,000 putting life jackets and cup holders and all kind of stuff. So
it doesn't take long.
You can save $100. Now, speaking of boats, and somehow we've got to get together and with Bill Shields and get down on the houseboat. But I know right now it's up here.
It's high.
When it starts going down, seriously, the next couple of weeks or month or so, we'll get some catfish.
I hope it does. I mean, it's been obviously tough. You know, we had 3 good trips, down around Goat Island catching fish, and looked like it was going to be the first time in 2 or 3 years was going to be a good year. Mm-hmm. And then you got a river that jumps 20 feet. So, it's too much fresh water down there, and you can't catch those fish, and, catfishing and all that kind of stuff. I have no interest in going way back in the woods to do that. So, we've been talking about going down there. It's just...
And the houseboat's in pretty good shape considering everything.
Yeah, the houseboat's the same shape it's been in. But, that one's on a barge. And
for a boat that's been built in 1950s, it's in pretty good shape.
Bill's dad and his 2 brothers drug that barge down there after they came back from World War II, I guess 2 or 3 years after that. And it's a solid steel, watertight compartment barge. And it's not going anywhere. You see some of them fade away. So, it's been
Okay.
It's been a spot of great joy and a lot of fish and squirrels eating right out of that right there.
Which reminded me, we were speaking of fading away. These names gonna fade away. We don't get them in here. We gotta put some names in here, Bill. I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay, we're gonna start off, y'all. For the past 2 weeks, Chris Jinks, we're putting you in here. Angela McKay, one of our loyal viewers. Whitney Outlaw from Caryville, the McKay family. Edna Farmer from Caryville. We got Gerald Farmer, Caryville. Carson Melvin up there in Fountain, along with Crystal Melvin, and Ruth Thibodeau, and Norman Thibodeau. That's that family right there. The McKays and the Thibodeau, that's some original old families that's been here forever.
That's a fishing family right there.
That's a fishing family.
Years and years.
So now they got a chance. Tomorrow's show now, we're going to give away our tarpon dock. We're going to give away a gift certificate to Los Angeles, and we got all kinds of stuff to give away. So we'll take our last break and come back. Welcome back. Sitting here with my good friend Bill Allen, my co-host on Panhandle Outdoors, and we got our final segment of today's show. All kind of exciting things coming up. But let's look at our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 2:33 to 4:33 this morning, and 2:53 to 4:53. And let's just talk a second about these fishing game times. We had Bobby Smith on the show, I think Wednesday, and he was talking, he called it 50,000 bass. And when I gave every time I have a guest, I ask him, how do you feel about fishing game times? And we had a good discussion because at first, he said when he first started fishing years ago, he didn't think much of it. And then later on, the more and more he fished, the more and more he's convinced of the fishing game times.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about out fishing and all.
It's true.
We'd be okay. What time is fishing? What time is game time? When are they going to start biting?
Yeah, it's and I'm not as good about it as I'd like to be, but it's a great idea to keep both a hunting and a fishing journal. Mm-hmm. Because you write down water temperature and where you were and what you were using, the conditions and things like that. And, it's something you can always go back to. We'll just look at March of last year and see where you caught fish and what you caught them on and and it's a great record to look back, on that stuff. And I'm not as good about it as I should be, but it's,
another good friend
putting a little work in. You don't catch 50,000 bass by accident.
Wow, that is.
You don't catch 1,000 bass by accident. You have to know what you're doing. You have to. Yeah. And I'm sure that obviously he's kept up with them, so he's got the number that he caught and what he caught them on and where and the water conditions and everything. I'll bet anything on that.
If you missed that show, go back to YouTube and pick it up because that is a classic for Panhandle Outdoors, and tell your friends that out of town and all that to look at that because that's just once in a lifetime deal. So, So anyway, we're proud to do that. Also, I have another friend, Marion Smith. He's done the same thing with speckled trout over the years. Has caught them. Now he hadn't done it all the time, but on a regular basis, each month and all, he's done it. And he lives over there in Kings Point. He showed me his record and all, and what he caught them on a time of day. So keeping records is important. But with that being said, talking about game and fish time, don't let that deter you from going. Say fish times be 2 o'clock this afternoon. I mean, you're still going to go.
Greg and I have said on more than one occasion that the best fishing time is the time that you get to go. Yeah. Trying to wait on, if you have the opportunity, go out and figure out how to catch them, or.
Okay, let's go. This time of year, I had a Facebook memory showed up on my Facebook page. I'm going to show it to y'all because it's going to bring back. Look at here, folks. You know what February, March is all about, is quail hunting. That was from 6 years ago, Bill.
Good.
And doggone it, I've missed quail hunting. I know you and your family all been big-time quail hunters over the years.
In the past. Yeah, in the past. Yeah. And, we're starting to go once in a while, like that weekend we spent up at Bainbridge, and that kind of thing, which is fun. But I love quail. I love quail hunting. And love the pheasant hunt now that I've been twice to Iowa to do that. Mm-hmm. So, that's a blast.
It's just special watching those dogs and the birds and all. But this is time of year, late February, early March, after the woods sort of clear out. And this is when we always get to go. So hopefully we might get to go sometime soon. We got to get.
That'd be a good thought. Yeah.
We got to get Greg. And does he do much hunting, or he just all fishing?
He's fishing. I mean, I think in the past, many years ago, he hunted a little bit, but I mean, he's like his dad. He'd rather fish than eat or breathe.
I laughed at him. Actually, that one picture I put in the book about, I was looking for really big trout, and Greg had a 9-pounder or 10-pounder? 10-pounder. He caught him pretty bayou, and he caught it. He said I caught it when all y'all were out hunting, and that's what he took pride.
Standing on the bank.
Standing on the bank.
Yeah,
and,
Steve, he caught that from the bank when he lived over in that area.
Over in a pretty bayou area, and there've been so many record fish over the years.
A monster trout.
Yeah, and I looked around. I even went to the old Speckled Trout Club trying to get pictures because I wanted to put one big trout in the book to show the history of it. And sure enough, Greg Brudnicki had the biggest one I could find.
You know, and we're all waiting on that second book now.
Oh, Lordy. You know,
as I mentioned, that first book is incomplete in one area that I know of. I mean, Greg's in there and Bill Shields is in there, and I couldn't find me in there anywhere. So I was sure in volume 2.
On volume 2, we're gonna put you on the cover.
Yeah.
we're gonna run out of time. We're gonna get some breakfast. We're gonna meet Greg at breakfast. And he's buying this morning, right? Is it his turn to buy?
Well, if we get up and leave real quick, yeah. But you know, also, I know we're about to be out here, but we need to start looking at dates. It's time to do a spring fly fishing trip in the mountains.
Ooh.
And that water's going to be high. It's going to be rough.
What month are we looking at?
April.
April. Okay, April.
Late April, first part of May.
I'm gonna write it right down. April. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Bill, always fun, buddy.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much.
Thank y'all for watching the show. We appreciate the viewership. Do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.